Hey everyone! While warming my engine here in this frigid climate, I thought I'd do a little talk about taxation. So, many of us think, there are two things guaranteed here in life: death and taxes, right? Well, let me talk a little bit about what taxation is. So, taxation is when the government takes a portion of your money, whether it be from a product you buy, part of your paycheck, the licensing the car you drive, even owning property. Well, maybe some of you have heard the term taxation is theft, right? Let me talk a little bit about that. A lot of people disagree with me on that taxation is theft, but let me define what stealing is. Stealing is taking something from another person without their consent. Now, you ask, well, isn't taxation just us paying our dues to the government for doing their jobs? Well, in part, yes. But let me ask you this. Should the government have those jobs? The government, they hold a monopoly on so many things, like highways, just the public roads in general, public education, public libraries, public this, public that, the postal service, and all these services don't have to be, they don't have to be up to par because there's no competition. The government, if they need more money, they spend more money. They don't have no questions asked there. So, if the government can keep, taxing us, do they really have to do their jobs? Not necessarily. See, if you just can't choose not to pay your taxes. Whereas if it's a private company, they don't meet your expectations, you don't have to pay them. If they violate an agreement with you, you can make a civil case in court for that. Thing with the government is you can't sue your own state, and the state doesn't have to meet your expectations. So, they can take your money without your consent to provide subpar services, and they can get away with it. Now let me explore some other options. What if education was privatized? What if the roads were privatized? What if the postal service was privatized? What if libraries were privatized? What would happen? Well, here's what I think. So, if we privatized education would no longer be free. There would be a fee for education. You'd have to buy your own supplies. You'd have to pay the teachers. You'd have to pay for the facility. But guess what? People are already doing their taxes. We just get rid of taxes and people would be able to keep more of their paycheck. And they wouldn't be fined for owning a vehicle or fined for owning a square of land in a country. Now, what if we privatize the roads? Why couldn't we just have a toll tag in your car like Texas does? You can drive on the freeways if you wish. You pay a very small fine. Everyone pays a little bit. And guess what? The highways are maintained and built and paid off, no problem, by these private companies because they collect tolls from people who use them, not people who don't drive. Now you say one of the counter arguments to that is that even if you don't drive, you still use public roads indirectly. You order something online, it comes in a truck. The truck uses the roads. Well, couldn't you pay an extra fee online, or the company could just pay it? There shouldn't be such thing as a tax-exempt vehicle. Everyone who uses the road should pay for it, and it shouldn't be managed by the government because that gives them a monopoly. Public libraries. Why can't we just make it, you pay $5 to get a library card to use the library? Big deal, right? Enough people would do it, and then taxes would be gone. And, okay, what if we privatize the postal service? We have services like UPS, FedEx, plenty of others that do a better job because, well, they're not monopolized by the government. You have a monopoly, you don't have competition. So if we break down if we break down monopolies, we will have competition. And that's what we want. So, as a taxpayer, I want to show you all something. Now the engine's pretty much warmed up. the roads look like this. They haven't been plowed for days. They're slick to drive on. Very fun, but should it be like this if we're paying? I don't think so.